Welcome to today's video. In today's tutorials, we'll be doing a bomber jacket like the one on the screen. And these are what we'll be needing for the jacket. That's like a jersey band. And I have like 3 pieces of it. We'll be needing them. And an Ankara fabric. You can use any fabric of your choice, but not a stretchy fabric. And that's a suit lining we'll be using for it. Is you can use any other lining, but the suit lining I prefer it because it generates more heat. And that's a black fabric also. We'll be using it for the welt pocket. And in this tutorial, you'll learn how to make a welt pocket in a bomber jacket. And even if you want to sew a reversible jacket, the making of this bomber jacket will help you do that. I'll show you how to give it a neat finishing. You can wear it inside out once you have a proper zip for it. And so if you have not subscribed to this channel, you have not liked the video already, please do, because you'll learn a lot from it. And so now here I am marking out my straight line as usual, and the length of my bomber jacket I took 15, and my bust length, that is it. 12. This is the basic, like the basic normal basic bodies we do every now and then for every tutorials. We'll do our normal basic block, then before we start doing the jacket proper. The main thing is the sewing of the jacket, So that's my bust length, the hem of the jacket. And now I'll take my shoulder measurement, which we know already, like you take 8, 3, and then you mark out your 1 inches down as we normally do. And then we mark out the armscye depth. But normally we do our normal calculation and just take our armscye depth. Sometimes we make it smaller, but here we are going to make it bigger, like you take when you add 1 to it. That's 1, as in, normally we do our chest as in our bust measurement divided by 6, divided by 6 plus 1.5. Most times we stop at just plus 1, but now you have to add the 0.5 because it's a jacket. You don't want it tight on you. So even my shoulder in this measurement is supposed to be less than 8, but we are taking 8 because it's a jacket. So instead of us taking 15.5, we took 16 since it is jacket, and we added like some inches. Like you can add 2 or even just 1 if you don't want it too big to your bust measurement, and you take it down to your hip, making sure the hip is a little wider. You can just go straight, but I came in a little by 0.5 or 0.7 at the waistline. You can do that or you may not. It depends on what you want. And so after cutting the front, we are going to use it's the back we cut. We'll use the back to cut the front. Because we'll be having a zipper at the front of the jacket. So we're going to use the back of the jacket to cut the front part of the jacket. So that's what I am doing right now. The cutting is really easy, really fast. It's just the sewing of the pockets that will take a little of your time and concentration, attention. And for the neckline, I just took 4 at the front, and the width also 4. But at the back, I'll just go in by 1.5 because I'm going to use that jersey band on the neckline. And so now we are ready to create our welt pocket. So please pay attention to this so that you'll not make a mistake. But you can still try it out somewhere before you go straight to your fabric or to a customer's fabric. So here I'm going in by 4.5. First up, that's what you do. You mark out a straight line. I went up at the hem by 2. So if I'm doing, for anything you're doing, you put your hand to check if your hand can contain in the pocket. Though it will not really contain, because that pocket, you don't really put anything. It's just like a fanciful pocket, but your hand can enter into it, but not all, as in it's just like part of your hand will enter through the pocket. So but you put your hand to see if it's okay by you. And so after doing that, that is from your center front line where you have that zipper. Remember, that's where you come in by maybe 5 or 4.5, depending on the person's size. Because if it's a smaller person, you won't go that far. Remember, you have your seam at the side. And I've kept my seam allowance already, which is 1 inch. And so I'm marking out 1. I'll mark out one inch from that straight line I got, as you can see, as in 1 inch. That is 0.5 on each side. Then I'll just move down straight. So we'll have like 3 lines on that part. What I'm doing now, I'll draw 3 lines on it. They are 0.5 inch aside, as in they are 0.5 inch in between the one at the middle. So I'll rule the lines now and you'll see what I am trying to explain. So here we go. Those are the 3 lines I'm talking about. Next up, what we do is at the hem where you came in by that 2 inches, you come out again, you see, by 0.5 inch. You just mark out 0.5 inch down there and 0.5 inch upward. Remember, the length of that pocket is 6 inches. That's the length, as in from that hem part, as in where I came up by 2 down to the upper part is 6 inches. But if you're doing for a child, it will not be up to 6 inches. Remember, a child's size is not like an adult size. So it will be less than that for a child. Afterwards, you see, after coming up by 0.5, you do like an angle to meet that edge, like at 90 degree. I'll do the same at the upper part so you can see as well. Okay, I'll mark it at that edge, that corner towards the 0.5, and I'll do same for the other side. Okay, so that is it. That is how it is being done. So I'll transfer what I've done to the other side of the jacket. Remember, there's a zipper and this is unfold, so I want to transfer those lines to the other side. Those are my pins that I've inserted to enable me have those points. I'll just mark them out, remove the pins, take the pins off, and then rule the lines as I said initially. So after doing all this, I'll still go to my ironing table, place hasty on that part where we have our pockets, those lines we have made. Yes, I'll gum hasty on it. You can see how it looks like now. I'll gum hasty on it and I'll still rule those lines again, because the hasty will allow the seam to be neat. Okay, so here, before I do that, I'm trying to cut out my, the pocket has like a band on it. You can see on the screen how it looks like, that pocket. So it has like a band on it. So that's the band I'm doing. The length of it is like 7 inches, 8 inches. It doesn't have to be the same length of the pocket. It has to be more than that, so that we can have excess on it. When we're sewing, you get to know what I mean. So that's my band. Suppose you can see that other fabric, the Ankara fabric close to the jersey band. That's what I'm trying to cut right now. So what you're going to cut will be, the width is going to be the same like that of the jersey band, because you are sewing it to it. We're supposed to sew it together with it. You just cut it, but you can make it a little bigger afterwards. After sewing it together, you trim it, and the width of it is 5 inches, because part of it will go into the zipper allowance. So this is what I mean. And I have 2 pieces because it's going to go around the waist. Okay, I'll join on each side of the edge of the band. Okay, so now we're cutting the pocket. The pocket is, we're going to have like 4 pieces on each side of the pocket. We have 2. So 2 each. We are going to have 4 pieces total. So 2 each. One is meant to be longer than one. On one side, you can cut 8, and the other side, you can cut 7. Like, what I mean is, on each side, you have 7 and 8 inches long, but the width is 8. See what I mean? One is longer than one. That is one side of it. And we'll have that same on the other side of it. When we go to sew, you will see, when we're putting all these pieces together, you see what I mean. Okay? So now, this bomber jacket is bomber jacket made easy, because if you follow the steps, it's so easy. And then you just, this is what we had done before. I'd gone hasty on it, and now I'm trying to rule the lines which I had made before initially, and then we'll do same on the other side of it. Go to our sewing machine and begin sewing. But remember, we have to cut the sleeve of the bomber jacket, and we'll put the pieces together. Basically, I'm just repeating what I've done before using my biro so that it will be sharp. You know, the biro is not like chalk. Chalk is thicker, and I really want to follow that line. So that's why I'm using a biro to give me a slimmer line. So now, still, what I'll do is, I'm not transferring it, I'll cut it. Of course, you can see what I'm doing right now. I have to hold it, pinch it a bit, to the pinch, it will go through the other one. So I'm cutting it on fold, so it's going to cut the other side of the pocket as well. So it will be on the same spot. I'm just making sure everything is okay before you cut. Make sure your center, front, unfold, everything is really meeting each other, so that you will know that you're cutting through the same spot as the other side. Okay, so this is what we have here. So I have to rule those lines so that when I'm sewing, I will just follow the lines I've traced. This is me just making sure. So now I have to open up the front. Okay, so now we're done. This is all our pieces together. Those are our bands for our pockets, and those are our pocket bags, and these are my sleeves. I've cut the lining and I've cut the sleeve itself. Everywhere will be lined, it will be tucked in. Okay, and here is my the front of my jacket, and that other remaining piece is the back of the jacket. And so we are ready to put these pieces together, and you see how it, and that's my band. That's the band. Those other band will be used at the sleeve, the hem of the sleeve, and also at the neckline. So if you have not subscribed right now, if you know you're enjoying this video, please do subscribe for me, and I'll be grateful. And thanks to all those who have subscribed. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. You've done great. Thank you. And thank you to you that is here to subscribe. I know you will. So here we are. This is the pocket. I have ironed it like on fold so that the piece can be together. I placed it from the front. You are placing it at the center front, where you have your center front. That line, the opening that is close to the center front, that's where the band is supposed to be. Okay, because you are putting your hand towards the front. Okay, so that's why the band is on that center front line where the zipper is. The line that is, the opening that is close to the center front. And then here I am trying to put that band on that point where we have the center front. You can see it right there. So that's why I said the length of the band shouldn't be the same length as your pocket. Okay, the length of your pocket, it should be a bit, it should be like 8. If it's 6, it should be like 8, so that you have the same excess. Maybe you have 1 inch on the other side and 1 inch excess on the other side. Okay, at the top and at the bottom you have 1 inch each. Okay, so it will be easy when you're joining together, when you're putting the piece together as in the pocket bag. So you sew from where you have that opening, where that angle is, and stop at where that angle is. You just take it little by little, step by step. Keep moving. When you get to that spot, you take your time. Okay, it has to be on that spot so that you will not have it squeezed. You can try doing this on a pieces step by step. Okay, this is what I mean. Your hand is moving towards the front. So that's that. That's how you fix the band. And now we're going to fix the pocket bag. Okay, so that's the other one. We're going to put the short one on the other side. This one is the long one. The long one is put at the other side that is close to your side seam. And then you sew on that line just as you sewed the pocket band. Okay, you're going to place that pocket bag, the longer one, on the other side of the opening, which is close to the seam, your side seam, and you sew. Okay, just the same way you did from that angle, that place you came up and did a slant to that 0.5. You start right from that point. Okay, and sew straight and end still on that point at the bottom side of it, so that it will be easy and the pocket will be free. It will not be squeezed at that edge. You can see I'm trying to open it. You can see the point there. Okay, just that point where you have it opened, where it stopped, that line, that's where you try and sew it carefully, like you do it step by step. You first try it out before you go straight to your fabric, so that you don't have to make any mistake. Okay, so you put down your needle at that point, and then you move little by little, and you get it. It's not difficult. You can even use this pattern to make, maybe you make a trouser and you want to make a welt pocket, or you make a jacket and you want to make a welt pocket. You can use this pattern as well to do it. Okay, So you just keep sewing down, like I said, and try as much as you can to stop at that point where the opening ends, okay? You know, everything is practice. Practice, they say, makes perfect. So you keep doing it. When you try, don't give up. Try it all over again, and you see that you will get it, and it will now be like easy peasy. So here it is. We'll now have to sew the other pocket bag where we sewed the band. Then we'll put all the pieces together. You see it, and then our pocket will be ready, because that's like the most taxing part of the sewing of this bomber jacket. So the short one would put it, have you seen? As in, you still follow that sewing, that line you made on the band. I'll just follow it straight to sew the other pocket bag. I'm just making sure. Okay. I don't want to make the video so fast, so that in this spot, so that you can actually watch carefully and maybe look at it carefully, so that it will be easy for you to put it on together. This is a black thread I used. You may not really see the line, but it's still on that 0.5 I sewed on at first. That's why I will sew. Okay, so you just sew on it straight, and then we'll join the sides together. You see how I'm going to do it, and then we'll iron. So now I've sewn the both side, and here are the pocket bags, as in the two I've made, as in the pieces I've sewn. And now I'm going to sew everything together. But first, I want to check how it looks at the front. I'll make sure I tuck it in properly, like that little angle we have is just on its own. I'll push it in more and properly. I will iron before joining the piece, okay? So here I am trying to tuck it in. I'm trying to use seam ripper to something flat, anything you have that is kind of flat, to push it in so that it can look neat. And you do same on the other part. You can see what I'm doing there, trying to adjust everything before putting it together. This will take a little of your time, but you have to be patient so that you can get it right and beautiful as well. Now just take it straight to my ironing table, iron it, and then bring it back, and I'll show you how to join the back of the pocket. Close it up, how to close up the pocket. Okay, so I've ironed it. This is what it looks like after ironing. I'll have to turn the back of it and then sew. You can see that little angle there. I'll sew the two pieces together, the two pieces of the pocket together, and close the pocket up. So that's what it looks like opened. And I'm making sure my pocket is facing towards my center front, okay? So now you sew, you can see the angle. I brought it down and I'm going to sew right from that mark where I have my pen. I'll sew it and I'll sew on the pocket. So the two pieces I sewed initially, I'm going to sew all two pieces plus the angle. So I'll just sew it together. Please, you have to be very, very careful here so that you will not have to squeeze the pocket. Just sew on that angle where you have that line. Just sew on it carefully, slowly, and then you get it. So at the hem, you just measure out, making sure that your center front where you have your zipper is is not on the place you're going to sew. That is, your pocket has to be shorter than the zipper, as in the allowance you kept for your zipper, okay? At least it should be 0.5 inch away from where you have your zipper allowance. Then you careful here too. Be careful here too where you have that angle here. And that is it. The pocket is ready. Okay. So I'm trying to reinforce my stitches and then we are okay with it. I'll cut and then we'll see what it looks like at the front. So I'm cutting out my excess. So now this is what the front of our pocket looks like. We don't have any squeeze on it. It's not squeezing. It's just so perfect. It's so beautiful. So that's it. At least the hand can enter. It can fit a bit. That's what I said. It wouldn't be that big like to put something in it. So I'll also trim down that part of the pocket and then we'll continue the sewing of the jacket. So here I'm done with the pockets of the two sides. I've done the same thing I did to the other side of the pocket, and now I'm going to join the shoulder of the jacket. It will be done like we normally do. Just join the shoulder of whatever you're doing, join the shoulder, join the sides, and we'll do same to the lining. If you want to do a reversible jacket, note you also do a welt pocket on the lining, as in the lining will not really be a lining. If it's a reversible jacket, it's going to be maybe a fabric, another fabric you're going to like maybe turn it over, okay? So you would just have to put a pocket on it if you like, and just the same way you did for the front, that's what you do too at the lining. At this point, if you have watched up to this point and you've not subscribed, please subscribe and tap on your notification bell to be notified whenever videos are being uploaded. Thank you. And so here am I joining the shoulder of the jacket. So After that, we'll join the seam as I said initially. Okay, now the putting together of this video of this bomber jacket is getting kind of long, so I'm going to divide this video into two parts, part one and part two, and so you can click on the part two to continue the sewing and the putting together of this bomber jacket, so you can finally see how it fits and how it turned out to be, the finishing and everything. I hope you would like to see the end, and please try and watch it to the end. Try and watch the other part. It's also very interesting. Thank you.